Now let's use the marginal principle to make a business decision. Suppose we're a movie producer and we're trying to decide how many movie sequels should we run. Like for example, Star Wars. I think it's on to 7 now. So let's suppose we had the first sequel and we grossed $300 million in revenue, and it only cost us 125 million to produce the first sequel. Well, that looks like our benefits are much greater than our costs. So we made a huge profit, so maybe we should consider another sequel. So now, on the second sequel, it looks like on the second sequel, our costs go up. So our costs went from 125 to 150 million, whereas our benefits actually fell from 300 million down to 210 million. Okay, so that's the case where our benefits are still greater than our costs. Let's consider why that might have happened. The reason why why it becomes more expensive to produce a second sequel is because actors start asking for larger salaries to produce the second sequel, because now their name is known and they've become very famous actors. And it might cost more to bring on the same people who produced it. And whereas ticket sales actually might go down because some people thought, well, I really like the first sequel, but the second sequel is more of the same, and so I'm not as interested in watching it. So anyway, there are lots of people that would probably want to watch the second sequel, but maybe not as many as watch the first sequel. And if you're like me, as there's more and more sequels to a series, I become less and less interested in watching the sequels. Okay, so obviously you can see on the second movie, there's benefits are still greater than the costs. So this movie producer might say, okay, let's consider a third sequel. Well, in a third sequel, you can see here that now the marginal costs are actually greater than the marginal benefits. So in that case, the movie producer is going to say, if they're using the marginal principle correctly, they're going to say, well, we're going to stop at 2 sequels, because at the third sequel, the benefits, I should say marginal benefits, are greater than marginal costs. So this movie producer is going to say that, again, they're going to produce only 2 movies, because that's the last point of production where the benefits were greater than the costs, or greater than equal, the marginal benefits were greater than equal to the marginal costs.